Hi, welcome Martin. This is Kinjal from DronaHQ and love to hear your stories. Martin, please enlighten us about what does your organization do and what role you play at your company.
Well, I'm an IoT engineer. I work at a company called Redstamp in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And what we were doing is we were looking for a platform to use as a front end for our database collection. And we have customers all over the United States, Canada, and Mexico. So we need to collect information from them stored into a database. Now, we looked and thought about um, developing this ourselves, which would mean we would have to have a team of developers, someplace to hold the source code, and then everything involved with that as far as backing it all up, a repository for the code. All of that seemed overwhelming. So we thought we would look for something that might be out there that we could use specifically for this application. We were in a hurry or a time crunch. So I looked at several platforms all in one week. I dedicated a week just to look to see what was out there. And then I tried a few. And when I found Drona, it seemed like that was something that would work for us. So I signed up for the free trial. I went through that, and all of that went really well. I found the development really easy. I like wizards, I like templates, so all of those things help me. And I was able to develop a proof of concept relatively quick. I presented it to our team, everybody liked it, and then we moved forward from there.
So Martin, could you just enlighten us a little bit more about the use case that you were building on this platform? I
Sure.
understand you were very clear in terms of you wanted a low code platform and you wanted to make something very quickly for your data. But just can you just double click because yours is a very interesting use case. People would love to hear about your use case.
Sure. So our customers, um, when they log on to their machines or start their machines, we wanted to provide two things. One, we wanted to have the ability to track them. So when a user logs into their machine, there's a checklist, and that startup checklist shows them exactly what they need to do to start their machine. So they run through that checklist, and then we can validate that they have taken all the proper steps to start up their machine. Secondly, when they're done, they can check out. So there's checkout or checklists to shut the machine down. Again, we're just validating that they took the proper steps to shut it down. So we covered both bases there, the startup and the shutdown. And then secondly, we needed to provide information to them for the machine itself while it was running. So as the machine's running, they can, like say there's an error that pops up on the screen. They can use the application to find the error, find more information about it, and then they can either look at PDFs that explain what to do and how to troubleshoot that error, or there's also videos that they could click on and see information. And then lastly, it provides training for the operator. So every operator can get the same training instead of a person coming and training an operator. Everybody uses the application. So they click on the training button, and then it shows them exactly step by step how to train somebody to utilize the machine.
So your IoT, it's like a POS system on which you have put this application.
Um, Not a POS, meaning when I think of POS, I think of point of sale.
Okay.
Um,
But for a machine, there could be a POS system, and on that, a tablet or something on which you have loaded an application for all the customers.
hmm. So our machines are stamping machines. They actually apply a stamp on top of um, like cartons. So the operator runs that machine, and on that machine, there's not an HMI, it's a PC. So they can actually just click on the application through the internet.
Okay. So very interestingly, you have made an onboarding application, an offloading or a shutting down application, training application, and handholding application. So this is just like one application, or you have done like multiple apps?
Um, for that application itself, it's one app.
Okay.
Okay, so then I found it so easy to use that we did have a couple of other things that came along as we were developing, and then the customer says, well, can I have this and can I have this? So I did create a couple more apps on top of that.
Cool. So you were the sole decision maker for deciding upon this to go with a low code platform, or to which platform to go, or you had really had to discuss it with somebody else within your team?
I did discuss it with our team, but I was adamant about using this product because, like I said, I took a week off to just look what was out there, and I tried many different platforms.
Okay.
And to me, this was the way to go, just
Okay.
from the sheer ease of use.
Fantastic to hear that. So what was your first reaction? Was it the quickness that, oh, you created it in over a week, or the easiness of the application that you built on it? What was your first reaction when you showed them the first application?
Everybody really liked it. I think overall the concern for everybody was, will it be easy enough to deploy to all of our customers? And I think people just didn't understand that it was a web application. So anybody that had internet access could get to it. So yeah.
Very nice. So how easy was it for you to roll out the applications, or to all your customers? Did you all just shoot an email and said that, hey, now go on and do this one more application to be opened up into your stuff? How did you train them? Was there anything that we could help you in implementing this very quickly to your customers also?
So within the application itself, I do have a training module that shows you exactly how to use it. So the hardest thing for me to overcome deploying it out to our customers was getting the app to start by itself. What we really wanted was, as soon as they clicked a button, that it would just go to a screen instead of having to go through that login process. So ultimately what I did is I configured the password right into a shortcut so they can just click through it. And that was the easiest thing for me to do.
Okay. Any when you started using the platform or experimenting with your first POC, any glitches or struggles that you remember and you would want to give us a feedback? I would love to get feedback and give it back to the product team as well, so that others, your peers, would do it even more easier and smoother. Any glitches or any support queries that you think could have been avoided?
Well, I think probably a lot of the resources online that I look for, and generally if I have an issue, that's my first go-to, is I'll go look for resources online. I did find a lot of resources, but they weren't, I don't know, I don't want to say current, but they didn't apply one-to-one with the application that I was using. I guess there might have been updates, which is normal, right? We see that in a lot of platforms. But it was just hard for me to find the right resources. But ultimately, when I did run out of resources online, I did call support, and support was tremendous in helping me. I really enjoyed working with the people that helped me. They were really flexible. There's a time difference between us, right? So I get it. And I made myself available, and as well as Drona support made themselves available, which I really appreciated.
So if you had to point out like two most important elements which made you go for Drona over other alternatives that you checked, what would that be?
aside from calling support,
Mm.
then I would look at the resources online. I know that recently you just came out with almost like a different platform or a shifting of the support. That was tremendous for me because I need a single source to look for when I have an issue. And that's important. I think that helped more than anything else, just to have your support all in one place. Um,
While
other than
while evaluating Drona versus any other alternative, what was it that was the most important element for you that, hey, this is why I want to go with Drona?
um, I think it was several, but if I had to pick one thing, I think it would be the flexibility and the ability to customize the platform to what I needed.
Okay, okay. That's very interesting. Have you been updated about all the latest features that we're launching? And do you get those emails? Do you actually read them, or would you like to, us to send those updates over inside the platform or any other way? Because there are a lot of new features which have come from the time that you would have built your first application till now. Uh, is there any other way that we can communicate better with you?
Um, I think so. For me and time wise, I deal with not just Drona, right? So in the IoT, it's the Internet of Things, right? But we deal with the industrial Internet of Things because we're dealing with the machinery part of that.
Right.
Um, I'm looking at so many different things,
Right.
sensors, and right. I think for me, what I would like to see is maybe a monthly session where we could ask questions, submit them early, like, hey, I'm working on this. Here's a good example. Um, so in my videos, I think it's videos where I list everything in a drop down. Um, the the way I did that, um, it's growing horizontally where I have to select the video. So I said, if you selected this, then bring up this video. If you selected this, bring up this.
Yeah.
So then I look at that and excuse me, I I want to see if there's a better way to do that.
Yeah.
And I have a note to keep going back and looking at it because I cannot continue the direction I'm going. Something like that, if I could submit something like that, and then even if it's a forum where there's a bunch of people, right, where I can see their questions, because what they ask ultimately might be similar to what I'm asking in a different area, right? So I'm constantly learning. Those things help me a lot. I do that with other platforms to where they have a once a month or a once a week. Um, it's almost like a lunch and learn where you just jump online and you can listen or you could submit questions.
That's a
Those,
very interesting thing.
right?
I love to take this back. Lunch and learn. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Please go ahead. You were saying something.
So yeah, ultimately those kind of things would help me, and I would gravitate more to something like that. I do get your emails and I appreciate them, but with emails, it seems like I
Yeah.
see it and then I say to myself, "Oh, I got to look at that later," and I don't, which is
Correct.
terrible, right? But
Correct. Correct.
um, that kind of thing, then I miss out on those opportunities. And in the back of my mind, I'm saying to myself, yeah, when I get time, I really need to go back and listen to all those things because I want to take advantage of the new
Correct.
functions, right? And the new
Correct.
functionality.
Correct. So any roadmap that you have that still you want to build some things and you have not got time, or maybe you want to explore the platform further for any other use cases?
There is. So we just finished phase one of what we're doing. So
Okay.
phase one was making that interaction between the customer, right? Having the the machine operator having the ability to do those things that I talked about. The check-in, check-out, and then finding the resources to troubleshoot their own machines, the videos and the PDFs, and then the training. That was all phase one. We're moving into phase two, which is where we start collecting the data from the machinery itself.
Okay.
So we've taken care of the operator side, but now we want to look at the preventative maintenance, predictive maintenance side of that, to where we're collecting the data from the machine. We're going to store that data and then utilize that data and then provide information back to our customers. That's phase two.
Okay. So are you equipped with the making that application on your own? Do you have any questions? Can my team help you? Because I can also offer you a complimentary, a session with an expert who can help you get onboarded, brainstorm with you, and maybe decide upon a course of action, how to build this, or they can dedicate a few hours for you and help you with the new roadmap or the new app use case that you're thinking about. Would you like to avail something like that, or you are like, hey, let me just first play around with myself, I am well equipped?
Okay. I do have, I mean, when we bought our package with Drona, we did sign up for support. And I have been using that. I don't know how much time we have left of that, but it would be advantageous for us to run through all of what we're doing and let somebody from Drona tell me, this is where you could plug in Drona, and that would be good for us. Because I don't know that. I'll go down the path and start plugging in the apps that I'm aware of and that I can use. And I use Drona like a Swiss Army knife, to where when I get stuck and I need something quick because I can do it, I can prove out a concept really quick with Drona. I can just put something together, even if I use Google Sheets and then move it to a SQL database later. All of those things are very helpful for me, which I've done. It's like I can develop it really quick, prove it out, make sure it works, even though it's buggy and it doesn't look pretty on the screen yet. I know it works, right? And so that's the direction I'll go in. And I do that a lot.
You are the sole developer, Marty, or you have another teammates who would be developing it?
I do it all right now, and that's why I use Drona.
Great. No worries. So, I would love to extend. I'm aware that you have taken some developer on demand sessions, but if they are over, irrespective of whatever is the situation, I would love to extend a complimentary session for you so that you can just brainstorm what are your current workflows, what are your current systems where you're using Google Sheets, or you would love some approval system. So there are a lot of new features also, like the chat GPT based or any other AI based chatbot. You can add it so that maybe the users can quickly find the information or the PDFs, whatever you're looking at. You can integrate your LLM models into it. So there are a lot of newer features, and also an opportunity for you to brainstorm your current workflows, the way your systems and the processes are working, and where you can plug in. And then maybe, either you develop it yourself, or you can also engage with our partners and get those things done very quickly. Because you are aware of the platform, you can quickly do those customizations and maintenance, but rolling out of applications, if you're stuck only because of time, that should not be the case.
Okay.
That is what I would like to suggest. I can, after the call, definitely I can, extend a demo session or a session with the experts so that you can brainstorm with them and identify new areas and opportunities. If I may ask, currently your application has been used by how many technicians, or what is the number of users that are using it?
So we have like 20 technicians out on the field, and they go from customer to customer all week long. And during their time of PMing the machine, they'll update our older system. So we had another system just like this one. Excuse me. But that system did not work to our expectations. And so I came on board about a year ago here at Redstamp just to do this functionality. And the platform that they were using, I first tried that, right? And that wasn't working for me at all. But once we said, okay, this platform is not going to work, I need something else. And then I spent that week looking for a different platform. Once I decided to use DronaHQ, then all of my issues went away and then I could develop the application. So there's all the service technicians have been trained in it. All of the internal users here at our headquarters in Grand Rapids use it. So there's probably about 20 people here. And then we've deployed it to about 10 of our customers right now.
Okay.
And then all of their users.
Okay.
But we're just starting to roll that out to our customers. So the start of the new year is when we will plan our mass rollout. But we're convinced that our beta group and our testing group all okayed it. Everybody's made suggestions. We made minor changes, but in it, when we show customers, they really like it. And if you want, I can show you what it looks like.
Oh, I would love to see it.
Do you want to see it now?
I don't mind.
Let's see if I share a screen. Oh, here it is. Oh, it says that you disabled sharing. So you have to let me share on your end.
Should I share? Should I give you the hosting rights? Wait. I've given you a co-host. Made you a
Oh, there
co-host.
it goes. Yeah, I have it now. So you see my screen now?
Yes, yes, I do.
So this is really similar what I did to our customers is I just put their username in there. And the package that we're using, I can make as many users as I want when we pay for the
Usage.
we don't pay for the users, we pay for the I forget what it's called, but so these are the different applications that I built. Here's the very first one.
Okay.
And that's the check-in one. So I can check in. I'm a machine operator. I come to my machine. So I need to check in and tell the machine who I am, right? So I check in, I type in or scan my operator ID number, and then I pick my machine.
Okay.
And then I submit that, and then it's going to come back and tell me I'm Marty. I'm at machine 802, and it just wants me to confirm that. And I say, yep, that's me. So then I can check in, and based on that information I typed in, it's going to go pull down that specific checklist, right? So depending on which machine you are on that this checklist might be different. So then I have to go through and do all of these things. And I said that I did them. This confirms for the company that I've taken the proper steps to start up my machine. And that's what I'm telling it. This just shows you the completion level, and then I'm done. And then the shutdown checklist is exactly the same, but I do that when I'm all done with running my machine. Now, let's say I'm running my machine, all of a sudden this error code pops up and it says error 377 or whatever, right? So I can come here, and this is going to bring up all of the error codes specific for my machine. right? So then I see this one, it says error 14. And this is its description. It says the glue pot had a TC fault. So I can look at a PDF. If I look at that PDF, it will show me exactly the steps I need to fix it. But I don't like to read, so I'm going to look at the video. So I could go here and click on this and it'll show me a video about what to do. So that's the first level of support. Now I can click on an additional level of support because there's something else wrong with it. So I can go right here and it's going to give me a deeper dive into more resources that I can pick from.
Okay.
And then that last part of it is the training part of it. So here, if I want to train somebody, I got a new operator. Here's how to use this system, right? So I can actually just go here and this is check in, check out. This is exactly what I showed you. So if I click on this, it's going to take me right to that section in the video where it shows me how to check in.
Okay.
So it just goes there and it says,
On the RSI opening screen or main menu
Oh,
screen,
nice. You have created a video.
the application, there is no machine name or company name.
and then you can get the full, this whole list is inside this whole training. And then there's more stuff about the machine as well. And that's that part of it, right? This is just a report that shows you all the operators that checked in, checked out, right, for the customer. This last thing is something I threw together really quick. It was literally less than a day. We have a web service, and that web service requires information from our customer. Normally, we did that here in-house. So if the customer said, hey, I'm running this product, it's a UPC code, they would call us and say, hey, can you put this UPC code into our database so that way we can use it on our machines? So that would probably take maybe an hour at the earliest and up to 4 hours from the time that the customer requested it to the time we actually updated it, right? So once a customer called and said, hey, can't we just do this ourselves? And somebody asked me, and I said, sure, I can just put that right into Drona. They already have access to it, and I'll just connect it to the database, and then they can do it. So that's what I did. I quick made a login so that way just nobody could do it.
Yeah.
And then it would get their barcodes, and then they could just click on whichever one they wanted to do and edit it themselves or add a new one. So here's where they could just add.
Yeah.
And they could do it instantly. They didn't need us anymore, which was so cool because when they saw that that functionality come to them that quickly, it made us Redstamp seem really good. Like we could develop something like that really quick for them. And it wasn't like magic for us, right? It was just using Drona, which is so cool for us.
Yeah. Sometimes those small self-service services can make really the experience smoother and better. The trust and the bonding between you and the customer goes way higher because they have the power in their own hand rather than relying on you every time to upgrade or update that thing. So those kind of smaller portal elements and smaller services really go long way. We have observed this with a lot of our customers. They keep adding new self-services systems into their customer portals, because then the customer feels more empowered that, hey, I can see my system, I can add whenever I want. I don't have to rely and call some support guy again and again. Yeah.
And then on the flip side of that, if they make a request and say, hey, can you add this? We can do it really quickly. I mean, the ease of development is so cool.
Yeah. Great. So just last few questions, Martin. Martin, as a developer, what would you say to break the myths to your other developers across? Should they go for a low-code system or no?
A local system, you mean developing yourself versus using an application?
So DronaHQ is a low-code platform, and developers have a lot of myth around it that we can code. Why would we opt for a low-code platform? So, what is your suggestion and advice to other developers who are apprehensive of such platforms?
Well, for me, I think using DronaHQ, the looking at the alternative convinced me that I should use DronaHQ. And when I say the alternative, I mean, I would need to have generally a team of developers to do some or most of all the things that I'm doing with Drona myself. I take care of the SQL side of that and the user interface or the front end of the SQL database. To do all of that myself or hire a team, that's the difference is I can hire a developer, I can hire a database administrator, I can hire somebody to take care of the code, to purchase the hardware, the servers to support it, and then worry about the backup. All of those headaches are not on my shoulder, right? That part of it. I can just focus clearly on the development side of that. I don't have the time nor the resources to worry about, my source code. Is it in a repository? Is it being backed up? All of the functionality that and responsibilities that go along with having your own server. Like I said, all of that is not on my plate. So it frees me up to do what's really important is the development of the application itself.
Fantastic. Any last words of recommendation for DronaHQ or others?
I can tell you that all of my apprehensiveness about using Drona went away very quickly. And to put all of your eggs in one basket, so to speak, as far as development, that can be kind of a scary thing. And it was for me. But once I started using the platform, when I had an issue and called support was really responsive. That helped melt that worry away. And the more I used it, the more I saw all of the advantages and flexibilities to using it. And that made me a DronaHQ champion here at Redstamp. And so wherever I can deploy it, wherever I can use it, I do.
Fantastic. Thank you for your kind words. You really made our day, Martin. And I would definitely, after the call, send you a link to schedule a call whenever you are free for another brainstorming session. If you really need one with the product experts to just go through your use cases or your ideas and then help you navigate that. And thank you so much for your feedback. It really means a lot to us. If anytime you need any support or queries, feel free to reach out to me.
Okay, that sounds good. And thank you guys for taking the time to do this.
Thank you so much. Have
Yeah.
a nice day.
Thank you. You as well.